Hey, thank you for tuning in, Profe Gayu. I just did a live. I deleted that live just so I can refocus the topic because that topic required a lot more uh, areas I didn't want to touch at this moment. I'll just say that. But look, essentially what I wanted to refocus this live on is learning the culture, learning the people, and learning the language. And these things are really, really, really important when you live in another country. Very important, very important. And often these seemingly simple but important things get overlooked. So I'm going to talk about DR, Dominican Republic, but I'm also going to talk about other countries as well and how people can apply certain tricks to get to know the culture and the country and the language. Firstly, look, basically language, culture, people, they're all connected. Specifically in the Dominican Republic, um, though a lot of folks here speak English, especially in the more tourist and more educated areas such as Santiago and Santo Domingo, you'll find that you'll find that the people here are very proud to be Dominican, are proud of to be from this country, and they will ride with Dominicans much harder than they will ride for anyone else, any foreigner, or anyone else. So always keep that in mind. So when you come in here to visit, or you come here to live here for the full time, or you are thinking about coming here to live full time, definitely take the time out to learn the culture, the people, and the language. So first, I want to start with the people and culture. So to really get to know the people and the culture, you got to learn the history. You got to learn how this country came about. You know, the history and how it got here. Because believe me, I know much. I know a lot of history of the Americas. That's pretty much my strong point, and as far as history goes, and being here, living here, and the more and more I learn about the people and the Dominican society and the infrastructure and everything, and I'm thinking about the history, I can just make the connections. I can make the connections. So that's why it's really important to know the history of this country, of this region, so that you can understand why the system is what it is today, why the people are how they are, or how they operate today. Also, knowing that, it'll help you understand the relationship between the Dominican Republic and its neighbors. For example, the relationship with the Dominican Republic with Haiti, or the Dominican Republic with the United States. So, I mean, learn the culture, learn the history, and help you understand the culture. Also, first thing I wanted to talk about something I touched on a little while ago, is how often foreigners, when they come here, they are not. Give me one second. Yeah. Yeah. All right, back. So often foreigners, they are not they don't become aware of the 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 vastness, the extent of Dominican society, because oftentimes folks will only focus and stay in those tourist areas, or if they come, they would identify the Dominican Republic as a place where there's a lot of poor people, a lot of poverty, chapiadoras, just stuff like that, partying or drugs or music or whatever the case is, where the society is much more deeper than that, and you will see that, and and when you come here and you branch out from those areas that are more focused in those in tourism. For example, I know that a lot of folks, when they tend to come to Santo Domingo, for example, maybe they'll go to the colonial zone, and maybe they'll just hit the airport and take a taxi or a bus and go straight to Punta Cana, or go straight to Puerto Plata, or straight to Samaná, without taking any time to get to know Santo Domingo. Because I'll tell you this: if I can compare Santo Domingo to a place in the United States, I would compare it to New York City, and here's why. Because, and this is how I'll break it down. So you got Santo Domingo, but then you have the National District. Then you have Santo Domingo North, Santo Domingo West, Santo Domingo East, and then you have places like Boca Chica, Caleta, and that's pretty much it for the most part, right? When I think of Santo Domingo. So New York City, I would compare it to where you have Manhattan, you have the boroughs, and then you have Long Island, right? So in that respect, the National District is Manhattan. The National District is Manhattan. When you look at some of those upper part of Manhattan, those more well-to-do parts of it, you can look at the National District and you compare that to like Naco or Piantini or La Julia or the colonial zone and all that stuff. You can match all those different well-to-do or somewhat well-to-do places up with places in Manhattan. And then you have, and that's where you have all the rich, most of the rich folks, most of the money, moving the economy, etc. And then you will have like Santo Domingo North, or Santo Domingo East, or Santo Domingo West, comparable to like the boroughs, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, maybe throwing in Staten Island. Those were the regular New Yorkers live, right? The regular New Yorkers. Same here. Regular Dominicans live in those places. So if you know how New York City works and how those different places in Manhattan is a whole nother world, a whole nother level of money, a whole nother level of lifestyle that most of us cannot even dream of living. It's the same thing here. And you go to the National District and they got those places there, with the high rises and all these big businesses and all this stuff that only exists in that area. You will not find that stuff in other parts of the country. So that's why it's really important to get to know those areas, because that can show you the extent of the country, right? I guess that was a longer way for me saying that there's a lot of money here, and what that means is there's a whole nother world. A whole nother world. So, as a foreigner, the reason why that's important to know that exists and to know how it works is because oftentimes when we come here as a foreigner, we're often put into a different category. We're not Dominican. We don't fall into the regular Dominican category. Yet many of us may not be as rich as someone who would live in some of those areas, or associated with some of those big family names here. Yes, they do have their equivalent of big family names here in the Dominican Republic. Uh, so when you have, where you have in the United States, those family who has dominated in politics or dominated in big businesses and corporations, etc. That exists here in the Dominican Republic. I'm not gonna throw any names out there, but the names do exist. What's up? So they exist. So what that said is, so why is that important? It's important because there are two different countries within the Dominican Republic, right? Two different parts of society, where you have the society where those folks live, where the rich, and the side where, the poor side. As a foreigner, it's easier, I should say that, to navigate between both of those worlds. What I mean by that is, you have the rich or more well-to-do side. The fact that one came here to live in this country, and one is a foreigner, oftentimes that piques the interest of people here. Why is that foreigner here? Why did you choose to move here? You become interesting, and people will spark up conversations, and you'll make some friends or associates, and you'll build a whole new network. So as a foreigner, you may have the ability to build a network within that higher Dominican society, right? And also a network within regular Dominicans who are not as well-to-do, right? So that's part of when I say learn the people and learn the culture. That's part of that. Also, too, get to know the country. Get to know some of the smaller towns. Take a visit out. Some folks from the Campo. Go out there and visit the Campo. Partake in some of the cultural activities. If you have never been to a church, just go to a church. If you've never been to a baptism, go to a baptism. If you have any of those religious ceremonies, dealing with the 21 divisions, Apollo, or if you're looking to look at other cultural centers and museums and stuff like that. I don't know, just do your homework and do your homework in trying to become, if not Dominican, trying to understand, the Dominican society, because it's really hard to learn that when you just associate yourself with other foreigners. And that goes into learning language. Learning the language is important. And you'll know that when you come to live here and you go to the store to buy something. You can't ask questions. You got to pull out your phone every 5 seconds. People, look, some Dominicans are patient, but not that patient, right? Same thing when you go to a restaurant to place an order, your order gets messed up because you can't speak and all this and stuff. And you go to a bank, or if you go to buy something, it's just that you'll time and time again, it's helpful to have that cell phone and be able to pull out that translator, but you lose a part of learning the culture when you don't learn the language. And it's not just learning the Spanish language, it's also learning the way they speak, how their flow of speaking, the words they use. Because that Spanish that you may use, that you may learn in another country, or that you may learn using some software, or from your Spanish 101 in college or in high school, they don't use those same words. They might even know. They may not even they may not even know what you're talking about when you use certain Spanish in this country. So it's important, when you learn the language and when you learn the culture, learn the people, you can actually become part of society and I guess feel more like Dominican. But I tell you this, you'll never be Dominican. In Dominicans' eyes, you'll never be Dominican. I had a guy tell me that, look, man, I know a guy, his parents were Dominican, so he was Dominican, but he come here to live, and he spoke Spanish, but his Spanish was weird. It was strange, right? It wasn't like Dominican Spanish. So therefore, he would just be a foreigner. Just a foreigner, right? So even him, who that guy was talking about, who he was talking about, is a Dominican with Dominican nationality and all that stuff because he spent so much time in the U.S. Dominicans will not consider him Dominican because he doesn't speak Dominican. He doesn't fully identify with the culture because he doesn't speak and he doesn't understand a lot of the Dominican ways. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, one can still come here and enjoy themselves, enjoy the lifestyle, and enjoy the culture, enjoy the people. But definitely, if you plan on being here for an extensive amount of time, just read up on the country, read up on the culture, read up on the history. Take some time out to learn the language and learn the language the Dominican way, because the Dominican way is not necessarily the best way at the same time. I mean, a lot of Dominicans, God bless their soul, but have not had the opportunity to have the best education in the system that exists here. So therefore, a lot of them don't not know how to properly speak Spanish or properly write or properly read. So therefore, it's important to know that, very important to know that when coming here, so that you know how to navigate between speaking formally and speaking informally in the Dominican. So just to go back and revisit, make sure I hit on all the important stuff. Learning the people, be around Dominicans, learn how they talk, learn how they interact with their family, learn how they interact with others. Not all Dominicans are one size fits all. You'll find that people that live in certain places do things differently, but it's good to know that. Just learn the people. Be around them and understand them. I will make a whole other video on this, but learning the women, and learning how the women operate, their expectations, their their upbringing, stuff like that. So learning the women, and I will make a whole new video on that. That requires its own new video. And I mentioned this learning the culture, but just the culture is not one size fits all either. It's within Dominican culture. It's diverse. It is diverse, and one must. And I'm still learning the various subcultures that exist within the country. Even for a lot of Dominicans, they do not respect the diversity that exists in this country. And again, learn the language. boom. If you don't know the language, is it's just going to create a lot of challenges and getting to know the people and adapting to the society. So learn the language. Best way to learn the language is honestly is to be here or be in a country where you only speak Spanish and you cannot revert to English when you are in trouble. You have to just fight through it and speak Spanish. Do that, and at the same time have some sort of class you're taking or a tutor, etc. So with that and that at the same time, on top of that, I highly recommend converting everything to Spanish. I'm talking about if you're watching TV, your television settings, you're doing Netflix, put the audio and the subtitles or subtitles in Spanish or the audio in Spanish, right? Just either or both at the same time. Music, just only listen to Spanish music and go through the letters, what they call letras, and learn what's being said. Translate little by little. Understand that. Also, I recommend Spanish. Do that. Also, every once in a while, go through a series of words that you learn every day, like new words, and just like pick up those words and try to put those words into a sentence when you're speaking to someone. Because again, learn and also when you're learning Spanish, understand the formal way, but also understand the informal way. Those are very important because you're going to have situations here where you need to be formal, but other situations where you can't be so formal because people are not really going to be able to understand. Honestly, if you're too formal when you speak here, you are going to lose people. You really are. So you have to be able to navigate speaking formally and speaking informally, because again, as a foreigner, you can navigate between the two different societies that exist here. The more well-off society, where you'll probably just speak English, but at the same time, when you have to speak Spanish, you have to be able to speak formally, right? Or when you're dealing with business here, you'd have to speak formally, right? Well, on the other side, that informally, when you're dealing with everyday people, you got to be able to understand, because you're speaking English. If you're speaking English in a way where you're talking over people's head, you're just going to lose people. And you're not going to be able to build those relationships and those networks that you want. So I think I touched on the important parts: learning culture, learning people, learning language. And this doesn't just apply to the Dominican Republic. This applies to wherever you are, whether you're in some other country, like in Brazil, or if you're moving to some country in Africa, like Uganda, something like that, or whether you're in, I don't know, Indonesia or wherever. You got to learn the culture, learn the people, and learn the language, and that's how you really adapt. And also, the local people will appreciate you more because you put in that work to know their country, to know their people, and to know their language. They're going to appreciate you more. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up and share with your family and friends, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Peace.